Hi. This is my first Wit and Wisdom Wednesday, and this is my first guest, Anya. And I wanted to share Anya's story with you guys because she has recently gone through a divorce and she has handled it so well. I thought it was important kind of to share her strategies and things she did to help her get through this transition in life. Sometimes, things are unexpected, things get thrown at you, and she's handled it with grace, so I thought I would share with you guys.
Well, thanks, Shelby. I really appreciate you asking me to do this. And I mean, I'm not a pro. I'm just going to share kind of what I've done and like kind of what worked for me. Yeah. You're going to find your own path, but maybe something I share might be helpful. And that's the reason I agreed to do this with Shelby, was because I think it's important that we share our stories to help each other out.
Yeah. So when it first happened, like, you didn't want it to happen,
right?
Obviously.
Right.
And so when it first happened, like, what were your feelings? How did you feel?
Yeah, when it first happened, and like you said, I didn't want this to be my story, and I didn't want my marriage to end. And eventually I kind of came to a place of having some peace about it. But very early on, I had a few friends that I kind of confided in. And that's one thing I would say is, when you're going through something, it's okay to have like a friend that you spill everything to. And you need that. You don't need to tell everything to everybody, because that's not healthy either. But I had a couple of friends that I just felt like I could be totally honest with about everything that I was going through. And I had a friend who's a little bit older than me and just really wise. And she said, Anya, you're going to go through things and you're going to hear things, or he's going to say things to you, or people are going to say things about you. And she was like, how you react is your choice. Right. And you get to decide at the end of the day, are you going to go to bed and feel okay about the way that you responded? Or are you going to have regrets? And she's like, you're not going to be perfect. And none of us are going to be perfect in how we handle things. But for me, I kind of joke, I'm like, that kept me from stupid. Yeah. It kept me from saying things that I later would regret, or it kept me from saying things about other people involved that just wasn't going to be helpful or beneficial at the end of the day. Exactly. And that kind of overarching thing of like, I get to choose how to respond to this situation, and how I respond is totally on me. Exactly. I would say, and I know you've talked about this so much, like, do not be afraid to get professional help. Yes. Like, we've got to remove the stigma of mental illness. And I think we're making big strides, but like, get professional help and get a third party who doesn't have anything involved to come alongside and to help you, because I mean, they're experts. When you're sick, you go to a doctor. Exactly. When you're struggling with something with your emotions, you should go see a counselor, a therapist who can walk you through that. And don't be ashamed to do that. It's just really, really important. So.
Did you have days that you were really depressed and felt like you couldn't get out of bed and do all of it,
Absolutely. I mean, I had days, weeks, months where it was like, I can't believe this is my story. I can't believe that this is happening to me. And that is when, those close friends, it's good to have those people in your corner. And it's okay to have those days. Like, I had to finally realize, like, there's going to be days like our anniversary, or like holidays, like the first holidays were really tough of like, okay, by the way, the schedule worked. The first Thanksgiving, I didn't get to have my boys. And that was hard.
When the first few months that this was going on, like, you found, okay, I'm going through a divorce. This is my story. I'm depressed. I'm going, what were some strategies, like, every day, like, just getting through the day?
Yeah, me personally, I'm a Christian. So for me, that was like prayer. For somebody else, that might mean meditation, or that might mean just having some quiet to start your day. And really thinking about what I was intaking as far as social media, books, all that kind of stuff. I think I love social media, and I think that it can bring a lot of great connection. But if you're following an account, or you're following somebody who makes you feel less than, unfollow. Yeah. And that's on you to decide that, and make that decision. And so I really decided, what kind of media am I intaking? What people am I going to be around? What, really starting my day, just kind of pausing. For me, it was like pausing and resetting. And again, choosing to see the good, and choosing to see, okay, so I don't like that I'm getting divorced, and I don't like that I'm going to have every other weekend without my kids. How about I look forward to the weekends that I don't have my kids, and see it as an opportunity to connect with girlfriends, or to do whatever I want, or to do nothing at all. I mean, there were plenty of weekends early on that I would do what I had to do to go to like a kids basketball game or something, and then just go home and be lazy, because I just needed to be and not have to go out and put on my game face for the world, And so I think, just making those small decisions about what media you're intaking, the people that you're around, and just pausing before your day starts, or at the end of your day and looking back and thinking, what good did happen today? They upsized my drink at Starbucks or whatever it is. And seeing that as like a positive,
right?
Even little things.
Yeah. Small positives and victories. And
absolutely.
What do you see in your future now that you're in this you're in a great place now? And I feel like you're in a balanced, healthy life. Where do you see yourself in this new life, in this new beginning?
And I like that you call it like a new beginning, and I think you have to see it that way. Instead of thinking about what you lost,
right?
Think about what could be.
Oh yeah.
And I think for me, just the way that some things kind of fell throughout the divorce process, I can see that I'm set up for success in some areas of my life that were kind of a dumpster fire earlier. And so I'm excited about what's to come. And I'll be honest, right now, I'm just kind of being, and I don't have like these big long-term goals or anything. I'll be real honest. But I think just embracing where I'm at and not being bitter about the fact that I'm now a single mom. Like I said, choosing to embrace that and think, okay, I can go have lunch with girlfriends on a Saturday when he has the kids, and enjoy that. And I think the future is, who knows what's going to happen,
How is it being a single mom and parenting two little boys?
Oh gosh, it's hard, I'm not going to lie. And I will say this is another thing. And everybody's situation's different. But one thing that my counselor told me, as far as like co-parenting, she was like, never talk bad about the other parent in front of the kids. Now you're allowed to correct a lie. Like if there was an out and out lie that I needed to correct and make right, then I'm allowed to do that. And that's hard. I've had to bite my tongue a number of times when I'm so upset or angry at him about something. But that doesn't do anybody any good. And listen, I'm not perfect about that. I've had times where I know I've made like an under the breath comment and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have said that in front of my kids. And sometimes it's an opportunity for me to go back and apologize and say, I shouldn't have done that. And I think that's healthy to model that for my kids.
Absolutely.
So, I think learning how to co-parent's been hard. But I have to remind myself that what happened between their dad and I is old news. And that is behind us. Like how I interact with him now is all about my children. Whereas before it may have been my priority to have like a good relationship with my husband. Now it's like my priority is to take care of my children. And so even if he's driving me crazy about whatever it is, I have to put that aside and think about, okay, how do I respond? How do I communicate with him about these two boys? And make them the priority. And that also, as I say, keeps me from stupid. That keeps me from getting upset about stuff that just doesn't matter. That he's not my responsibility to worry about. It's not worth it to get mad about stuff. And I thought that was really good advice, just to not talk bad about that other person. It just doesn't do any good. You kind of asked like what maybe my future looks like. I do think for me too, there's been a lot of like examining myself. Because while there may have been circumstances that led to my divorce, that doesn't mean I was perfect. I had flaws for sure. And it's made me think about like going forward, if I ever, got into a serious relationship again, what does that look like? And what do I need to do to make that better? And what did I learn? What did I learn from this relationship that I can change? What was good? It wasn't all bad, What can I learn to put into practice now and going forward? And that's super helpful for me to kind of evaluate.
So what's helped you was having friends to lean on, good friends to lean on, getting to choose your reaction to actions, and setting up boundaries and learning how to communicate properly. What would be your one advice for people? Is there something else that you would want to tell girls out there that are maybe in their 40s, going through divorce? They didn't want to do this. This wasn't going to be their life. And now here they are.
That you're not alone. I was so thankful for the women who had gone before me, who had walked this road and gone through divorce, who would just kind of say, I see you and I know what you're going through. And so I just want people to know they're not alone. And that there are others who have walked that kind of pain or maybe something similar. And you have to reach out to your friends or to a counselor, because people care. But if you don't reach out or do that, then they're not going to know.
Right.
You've asked a couple different times, like what things maybe have helped. And I mean, I love to laugh.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, but it is so good to just laugh, to find
Yes.
those girlfriends that you can laugh with. Watch a comedian,
Yeah.
like do something that brings you some joy. And another thing for me that I did throughout all of this was I was kind of exercising regularly.
Yeah.
My food wasn't the greatest, and that's something I just struggle with anyways.
Yeah.
But for me, like moving my body was like happy endorphins.
Yes.
And I think any doctor, any therapist is going to tell you that that's just a good habit. And I'm not saying you don't have to go do CrossFit or do whatever it is.
Go for a walk in your neighborhood. Yes.
Something. Get outside, move your body a little bit, and I'm telling you, it will change.
Right.
It literally changes the chemical makeup
does.
of your body.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it does.
It makes you happier. So,
I know, I hate that it works, but it does work.
I know. I would much rather sleep in and not get up and go swim laps at 5:30 in the morning. But
when you do it, then you're like, oh, you feel so good after
so
immediately.
good.
Like it is awesome. I will say.
And I've told people often, they'll be like, man, you're just out there doing all this stuff and training for triathlons. And I'm like, listen, I'm not fast, and I'm not doing that because I'm trying to like make the Olympics or something. It is 100% about my mental health.
Yeah.
For me personally.
But you're doing it.
But I'm doing it. Yeah. And so I get out there and I do it. And I think for me, that really helped just my own mental health situation to be active.
Right.
So
Yeah, I definitely agree on the exercise. Like, it's one of the best things you can do for depression, anxiety, all of that. It's amazing. I mean, do it for your mental health. If you're not going to do it for just healthy reasons, do it for your mental health.
I mean, and full disclosure, I had a conversation with my doctor a few months kind of before the bomb dropped in my marriage. I kind of knew things were a little bit rough, and I was just not myself. And I've struggled with depression off and on throughout my life. And I had an honest conversation with my doctor, and I got on an antidepressant that has worked really well for me.
Yes.
And there's no shame in that either.
No, there's not.
And it may be something that you only have to take for a season. It may be something that you find chemically your body needs, but don't be afraid to do that either.
Yeah. I take a Zoloft for anxiety, and it's really funny is that one time, like you said, some people just need it for a season. I thought I was that person that just needed it for a season, and I got off. And I was well aware very fast that I am not that person.
Right. Yes.
I need it at all times.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And it's good to be self-aware.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for telling everybody your story and opening up. I know that it'll help people out there that might be struggling. Like I said, it's funny with hairstylists, bartenders, and therapists. We get to hear everybody's problems.
Yeah.
And we get to know that we're not alone.
Yeah.
That everybody goes through these things, and I just wanted to bring that to you guys, is to be able to, like, there's some stay-at-home moms that may not have a network of women to talk to and know that you're not alone. So I thought this Wit and Wisdom Wednesday would be a really good way to share with you guys some mental health, some things that people struggle through in life, and then bring it to you guys so you can see that you're not alone. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video if you want to see more, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube, add your girlfriends, and I think that's it. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.